Hey everybody, this is cakedotavi with episode 3 of Taking the Cake in DayZ. Now that I've set up a bit of a base on the west island and done a bit of PvP on my way back to the east one in episodes 1 and 2, I'm getting ready to check out the main town of Sabina. I've just heard a car honk a little ways north of me here, so I'm getting ready for them to roll by. Between the driver and his passenger, I end up getting enough FN FAL ammo and food to keep me healed and shooting through a run in Sabina itself. I head a little ways south into the town, and just as I'm crossing from the suburbs into the town proper, I hear a single shot coming from behind me. Now, the whole time I've been heading to the town, I've been telling people in side chat that I'm coming here to PvP, so I don't hesitate. It turns out that even though there were two of them, they had little to offer but the thrill of the chase, so I head a little further into town to see if I can't find a more interesting fight. And just to be safe, he actually did have a few decent weapons, so I run them to my tent nearby, and then come back just in time to find a black SUV rolling through town. I go first for the tires, and then for the driver. I did manage to disable the truck, but I didn't take out the driver, so I run the far way around this construction site, and then third-person peek for a little bit, waiting for the driver to show himself. As soon as he does, I peek out and take him. So, that seems to have gone well. I head down to see what he had, and start wondering why he's sinking into the concrete on the right side of my screen, and that turns out to be really the wrong place to look. I quickly bandage after a narrow escape, and then head up into the construction site to get a better view of the car itself. After waiting for about 10 minutes, the guy finally exposes himself and I get a shot. While that was happening, people had been talking in side chat about a big firefight at the shopping center nearby, so after I make another quick loot run to drop off the gear from the SUV guys, I head over to check it out. By the time I get there, there only seems to be one person left, so I quickly take him out and then set up waiting for more. It turns out I really could have picked a better place, and I pretty quickly take a revolver to the back of the head. That was still a really profitable run since I was able to make so many trips back to my tent, so I decided to head back into town for another try. I heard somebody shooting an M14 or a DMR on the far side of Sabina, so I head over to check that out, and luckily catch them crawling. That gets me an M14, which is my favorite weapon, so I start looking for trouble. My stamina's really low at this point, and I've got a single zombie on me, so when I see these two guys looking north at the intersection, I decide to try to come back and catch them once I drop the zombie and regain some stamina. They're unfortunately already gone though, so I head to the place that I think they're probably going to loot, which is the nearby fire station. I slow the video down here just briefly as I peek around the corner so that you can see me kind of catch the guy as he rotates. So since that guy so kindly looked the wrong way, I've got one down and one across the street in the cafe. I decide to try to get the higher ground here, so I back up and head up the firehouse stairs. You know what? On second thought, I think we should try the doors. And all of a sudden I'm feeling a lot less confident. After bandaging and eating most of my food, I see a tiny bit of this guy's head on the second story, but here you get to see one of the real downsides of playing in third person so frequently. Yep, probably should have taken some painkillers. Still, it could have gone worse, although I did attract a lot of zombies with all the shooting. As I'm clearing them out, the guy manages to cross the street, and as I slow the video down here, he throws a frag grenade into the firehouse. I decide to try and flank around the back instead of fighting this guy head-on, when I discover that I have made a rather critical misassumption about this fight. The old third guy on a rooftop. Still, it was a good fight and they did a great job, so I wanted to include it here even though it didn't go my way. I decided to give Sabina one more try. I find an M14 and 2 mags at the nearby airfield, but I'm a little concerned about my ammo count. I find a guy looting a chopper, so I'm hopeful that he can help me with that. Unfortunately, he didn't have any DMR ammo, and the chopper was still broken with nothing in it. But I guess he had some highly placed friends, because pretty quickly after I killed him, a chopper shows up and starts a big manhunt for me across Sabina. They've got at least the pilot and one sniper in the chopper, plus a few guys on the ground. They even try to recruit people into their vent channel to get them to help. I don't know if I had killed a bunch of these guys before, or if they knew Gregory, the guy that was by the chopper, but one way or another, they seem pretty persistent. All told, they must have been flying around for about 20 minutes, although luckily they never spotted me. I did manage to find a few more unfortunate souls on the ground, though. Fairly shortly after I killed Gregory for the second time there, the chopper ends up leaving. But if that was a bit too much Sabina deathmatch for you, stick around for next week, where I try to make friends with 2 guys in a red car. But pretty quickly things take a turn for the hatchety.